Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Born to Innovate podcast. And today we're joined with a special guest, Mr. Gabriel, who's the CEO of Troika. And Troika is changing the industrial revolution forever with this technology. Gabriel, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sid. Hello, everyone, and thank you, Sid, for this opportunity.
So, for the audience who might not know who you are, can you share a bit about your background and what inspired you to start this business?
Okay, let's start about my background. I am an engineer with a vocation for entrepreneurship. I hold two undergraduate degrees. First one in business administration, and the last one in industrial engineering. I also hold a data science postgraduate degree in information security. And I did an innovative project management program for executives at the University of Akron, Ohio. Okay, let's talk about my interest in technology and entrepreneurship. Uh, while sharing my entrepreneur journey, I'd like to highlight the pivotal moments and insights that have shaped my career. Okay. I started coding at the age of 14, mainly out of curiosity. My family had a business, and I saw firsthand how technology could optimize process. And I began developing small software solutions to improve workflows, and that experience planted the seed in my career. So by the time I got to college, I was already thinking beyond just coding. I wanted to build products that made a real impact on the world. So this is the context about my beginning of my journey. And okay, my transition from college to working in industrial technology is interesting because while studying business administration, I landed an internship at a consulting firm specializing in advanced planning scheduling systems, APS system. And within 6 months, I was already involved in projects at biggest companies in Brazil, like Goodyear, for example. And it was my first project, and I saw how much I could contribute by my background. And then eventually they offered me a partnership, and it was my first deep dive into industrial tech. And I realized there was a huge opportunity to accelerate my career. So I spent 11 years at that company, and my strategy to accelerate my growth worked well. But at the same time, I created a dangerous comfort zone, and this forced me to make difficult decisions. So I left that company to start my own company from scratch. And this is the contest, the beginning of Troika.
So, can you share a bit more of your day to day, like what you're doing nowadays as the CEO of Troika?
Uh, so I'm sorry, I have a problem with my screen. My computer is crazy here. Sorry.
No problem. Did you hear my last question?
No, could you repeat, please?
Yeah, I was asking, can you share a bit more of your day to day? What's your day to day look like nowadays as the CEO of Troika?
Yes. While you're working at the consulting firm, I encountered a fundamental challenge that many entrepreneurs face: aligning personal ambition with the vision of business partners. So I was hungry to grow, eager to innovate, and passionate about building SaaS and cloud-based solutions that could truly transform industrial process. However, my partners weren't operating at the same pace of or sharing the same drive for rapid expansion and technology evolution. So this misalignment created internal friction. I felt constrained by the company's direction, unable to execute my vision at the speed I believed it was necessary. So I reached a turning point. I had to choose between staying in the stable but limiting environment or taking the leap to build something of my own, you know. So it was a high risk decision, leaving behind security and stepping into uncertainty. Despite the risks, I decided to embrace the challenge and start my own business. And this defined my career. Yes, it was tough. It was a critical lesson. Entrepreneurship often means leaving your comfort zone to pursue something greater, even when it feels uncertain. So if your vision outgrows your environment, you have to create your own path. So that's it.
That's powerful, and that's something I've heard in a lot of the founders and CEOs that I've interviewed is that they had this vision and their self-belief was so strong that they were willing to take that risk. So can you share a little bit of what your vision is for Troika? Where do you see it going in the future?
Yeah, let's talk for what inspired uh, truck creation. While working with these large manufacturers in Brazil, I saw the same problem over and over. Legacy systems, data trapped in silos, and managers struggling to make real-time decisions. I knew there had to be a better way. So that's how Troika was born, a SaaS-based manufacturing execution software that provide real-time data insights, making production lines more efficient and transparent. And let's move on how Troika grow into a key player in the tech industry in Brazil. Troika's success was driven by a relentless commitment to excellence in supporting critical manufacturing applications, a factor that made us an indispensable partner for industrial giants like TechnipFMC here from United States. They are our customers. And we didn't just build software, we engineer reliable, high-performance solutions tailored to complex needs of manufacturing operations. So, yeah, I did a strategic exit, as you know, and I'm looking for new investments in the United States. I'm looking for Industry 4.0 and AI-driven factors. And yeah, that's my vision now.
That goes right into my next question I was going to ask you. So the world of technology right now is changing fast with all these new AI technologies coming out. So how is AI affecting your business? Is it helping or hurting you, and in what way?
Sure. The vision of fully automated AI-powered factories sounds great on paper, you know, but the reality is that most manufacturers still rely on legacy systems, and the challenge isn't just implementing AI, it's bridging the gap between old infrastructure and new technology. That's why I believe more on incremental modernization, helping companies integrate real-time data and AI insights without overhauling their entire operation at once. So I believe AI is present for everybody, but not everybody is ready to evaluate. You know.
That's interesting. Can you expand on that?
Yes, AI has already transformed industry, but I think we are just scratching the surface. The real opportunity is using AI is not just for automation, but for strategic decision making. You know, for example, I'm an enthusiast, crypto enthusiast as well. Blockchain, for example, on the other hand, has the potential to redefine transparency and security in industrial process. I'm particularly interested in how these both technologies can work together to create next generation industrial solutions. But the reality is that the companies are struggling with all the infrastructure, legacy systems, and process need adjust to fit this new technology. You know.
So you mentioned a couple of new and emerging technologies, both crypto technology plus AI. What major shifts are you seeing in your industry right now?
Uh, for example, about blockchain, it's not a lot of things doing in manufacturing, because of course blockchain is more suitable for finance industry, but I can see opportunities with blockchain in supply chain management. For example, you can use blockchain to give more transparency to operations and integrate the supply chain. But this an innovative idea. I don't see anything in this way for now. But I believe in the future uh, we are going to both AI. We are going to put AI and blockchain in the same ecosystem, and we can use the both of that technology in manufacturing as well. But we have different realities in manufacturing in different countries. For example, I'm from Brazil, and Brazil is not too advanced in technology, so we are struggling with all the infrastructure. That's why I'm saying that a lot.
That's interesting. I never would have thought of blockchain being used in the manufacturing industry, but now that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, shifting the conversation into how the company is going right now, can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned a couple of big clients that you're working with. So, what's going well in the company right now?
So I did my ex on Troika. You know, I always had a clear strategy: build, grow, and exit. This was my strategy. When we started discussing a potential merge with a company that shared our vision and culture, it made sense. So the deal allowed Troika to continue scaling while giving me the opportunity to focus on new ventures. It was a win-win. So I just sold Troika, and I'm seeking new opportunities, investment, business, and I'm looking for AI investments and or blockchain. And yeah, I'm excited with about my future in the next years.
Wow, congrats on the exit. That's a goal that many entrepreneurs have. So, I'm curious, like, while you were on that journey, what were some of the main challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Um, the main challenge, I can see it's very hard align your personal vision with your partner's vision. I believe this is the most important part of building a business from scratch, because um, it's very hard build a business by yourself. You need people, you need good people, you need create process, good process, you need create a culture, and it's very hard to find partners that aligns with your vision, because everybody have has their own interest. So I can see this is the most difficult part. And of course, there are bureaucracy from government. For example, in Brazil, this is very tough for us because you pay a lot of taxes. It's not easy to make a business grow. And yeah, you have to find partners completely 100% aligned with your vision, and everybody needs to work hard. This is my opinion.
You mentioned a great point, finding good team members and partners. So how did you go about finding people that aligned with your vision?
Yeah, you have to create constantly a networking. You never stop to create or expand your network. You need to go to events. You need to be involved in the ecosystem. You need to go to out. You need to left your comfort zone because everybody wants to be in your comfort zone, but the reality is hard. You have to go out and expand your networking and creating relationships, and one day maybe you are going to remember, oh, I remember a guy that I can maybe that guy can help me with any specific subject. So you never can stop to expand your networking. It's very important. You talk to everybody, and it's very important you um, go abroad and create relationships in other countries as well. Because, for example, in Brazil, we are struggling with um, qualified people. So in some cases, you have to looking for people in other place. So you have to are constantly expanding your network, your presence in events, and participating in the ecosystem. That's my vision.
That's a really good point, and I think something that I found challenging as well. So there's so many different types of places you can network from, like the coffee shop in the morning or like a big conference. So what were some like networking strategies that you used that you found the most success with?
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah, it's a good point. Um, I also created my network and staying close to my colleagues on my companies. So my colleagues, everybody has friends. So my colleagues has friends, and I'm constantly, um, how can I say? I'm always participating um, of events with my colleagues. So the strategy is never stop to create new friends. It's simple, but create new friends help you to solve issues in the future, because you don't know what challenge you are going to face. So if you have a friend that know other friend, maybe it's going to be helpful in some day. So my strategy is talk to everybody. You have to be open to create new friendship. Uh, for example, you said, if you are in a coffee shop and there's a guy next to you, why you don't create starting to talk to him and start a conversation I believe it's very communication. It's very important for that strategy. I think the key is communication. You never stop to do that.
Great point, and I think that's the most valuable thing that you've shared throughout this call, because I think, especially for me and maybe some other people watching can relate. Since I'm in the tech industry, I spend so much time hunched over my computer alone, just coding or building, that sometimes I forget to like, there's a whole world outside, and I should be like spending as much time alone building as I am like outside interacting with others.
Yeah, perfect. I totally agree. It's a good strategy.
So now we understood a lot about the strategies you use to get your success in your business and eventually exit. So I'm curious, in the future, where do you see yourself going in the next like 6 or 12 months?
Um, I want to be at the intersection between technology, innovation, investment, and consultants. So whether it's through new companies, new startups, or venture investments, I want to keep building and backing technology that solve real world problems. Um, I also see myself engaging more in through leadership, thought leadership, sorry, and speaking at industry events, for example, and sharing insights on how business can navigate into a digital transformation. Because I became of this industry, so I want to stay close to manufacturing. Yeah, this is my vision for maybe next 2 years, and I'm seeking new opportunities in the United States now.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. So from working as an engineer to starting your own company to eventually exiting, that's a powerful journey. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome, Sid.
Yes, so I think we went through all the questions that I wanted to get through. With the last couple minutes, if anyone watching wants to like get in touch with you or learn from you or wants you to speak at an event, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Um, I like to share my biggest lessons I learned on my journey. I think this is important. I can share three important things with you guys. First, start before you feel ready. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will never start. That's true. The second one is adaptability is key. So the tech landscape changes fast, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. So adaptability is key, like Darwin said. And surround yourself with the right people. So the team you build and the partnership you form will make or break your business. You know, so that's true because I talked a lot about partnership, and I would like to share these three things with you guys. And if I can advise to entrepreneurs try to break into industrial tech, uh, you can focus on solving real problems. A lot of industrial companies have deep-rooted challenges that aren't solved by flashing AI alone, for example. They need practical, incremental solutions. So if you can bridge the gap, you will create massive value. So focus on that. And yeah, this is my thoughts.
Thanks, Gabriel. And lastly, say if someone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for someone to learn more about you or get in touch?
Uh, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
I'm yes. As I said, I'm very open to talk to everybody. So this is very important. Communication is very important. Networking very important. So I believe that. is very powerful. And if I can share my final thoughts with your audience, tech is evolving faster than ever. So the opportunities are endless. So whether you are in manufacturing AI or blockchain, the key is to stay curious, keep experimenting, and never stop learning. I'm excited to see where this next wave of innovation takes us. So, yeah.
Thanks, Gabriel. And I'll leave your LinkedIn link in the description for anyone who wants to connect.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Sid.
All right.